All right, guys, well, I'm back today with an LPVO that's really blowing my mind for the specs and features at the current price point. This is the brand new Monstrum Tactical Spectre 1 to 10 second focal plane optic, and it's got a list of specs and features that are just insane for the price point. When you look at LPVOs, you generally find 1 to 4s, 1 to 6s, and 1 to 8s, and a lot of times now companies are producing 1 to 10s, but it's very hard to find a 1 to 10 on a budget that actually works. Something that can hit the 1 power setting and make it usable at the 1 power setting without a dramatic fisheye effect, but also be clear and usable at the 10 power setting. Not only does the Monstrum Tactical do this, it does it well at an affordable price. These are coming in at $270, but like every release that I review on the channel, Monstrum Tactical creates a code specifically for my viewers to save yourself a ton of money, and this code is one of the biggest I've ever gotten from them at 50% off, dropping the price to $135 for a 1 to 10 LPVO, and includes flip-up lens covers in the box as well as this offset mount, so everything you need to get started, which is also an insane value when you consider the price of $135. Now that code won't last forever, but you can find that code as well as all the info in the description below. They also have a ton of other sales and deals going on right now in their closeout section if you're not quite interested in this one, and that'll also be in the description below if you want to check those out. Now let's talk about the specs and features of this optic and why I think it's worth every bit of the full price point, let alone the $135 price point. But before we get too far into it, I do want to give a huge shout out to Callaway Ballistics for donating the 223 to help make this video. These guys have the code 704TACTICAL for free shipping and 5% on orders over $200, and that's going to save you a lot of money. They've got 9mm, 50 rounds, reman, under $11 a box after the code and after you spend $200, but let's dig back into the optic. One of the first things I want to mention about the optic when you pull it out of the box is it really utilizes a nice fit and finish and great build quality. It's got locking turrets, which are very easy to use. You pull them up and then you can hear and feel the clicks. These clicks are nice. They're audible and tactile, and you generally don't find that in a very budget optic. But again, we are talking about a $135 optic right now with this discount code with some insane turrets for that price. The tube itself has this matte finish, and it seems very scratch resistant, and it works out great at the range. If you bump it, it's not going to scuff up. Now the tube size is nice because it allows you to really get a lot of light transmitted through the tube, being a 34mm tube, but really more importantly, it gives you more adjustments up, down, left, and right. The tube size doesn't have a ton to play with, like light transmission and things like that, but again, more of adjustments and things like that, as well as the optical solution to get everything you need specifically set up for your eyes at the 1 power setting and the 10 power setting to get all those lenses in there the correct way. They've done a good job. Now 34mm mounts can be a little bit pricey, but it's nice that they include one in the box. Again, $135 after the discount. I'm going to keep saying that. This one has the adjustable diopter on the back to get everything dialed in. And on a 1 to 10, you are going to use the diopter. At the 1 power setting, you may need to adjust this a little bit to get it perfect if you're going to be primarily doing close-up shooting. And if you're going to be primarily doing long-range shooting at the 10 power setting, you may have to adjust it again. Or you can adjust it kind of right in between and use it for the 1 to 10. Perfectly adequate throughout all of the zoom levels, but it's a nice feature that they include on pretty much every single optic I've ever tried. Now this one does have an illuminated reticle, but it's not super daytime bright. It's going to be good for dusk, twilight, different hunting applications, personal defense inside your house. It's red and green illumination, and the illumination's great. It doesn't skip on or off under recoil, and it's been holding up just fine. The illumination is very solid. The knob is stout. It really locks into that red or green illumination with whatever setting you want. And again, it's actually a little bit better than some of the other ones, especially because this is a 1 to 10, and the reticle's a little bit larger to be the correct bullet drop compensation or the correct hash marks. At the 10 power setting, you get a slightly larger reticle, so it's a little bit easier to make out, especially with the illumination, than some of the smaller magnification ranges. It does come with a throw lever built in right here, which is a nice touch, but it's a little stiff for my liking. I would like to see this, is probably one of my complaints about this optic, just a little bit looser. I feel like it's just a little bit too stiff to reach up and quickly flip. You're going to have to put in some effort. But with that being said, if you wanted to put it at the 5 power setting to split the distances of the hash marks on the reticle system, those MOA marks then are going to be 50% because this is a second focal plane reticle, meaning the MOA are only going to be effective at the 10 power setting, but you can do the math for halfway at 5. So that is kind of nice. You could set it at the 5 and not worry about accidentally bumping it and sliding it around. Overall, the optic is, though, rather large. So maybe another small complaint, but you have to give and take somewhere. I'd rather have good quality glass, which this one does, especially at the price, and a very good eye box and eye relief, which we'll talk about next, and just kind of make some sacrifices with the larger optic. Again, we're not talking about $1,000 LPVO here. You can't have everything for $250 or $270, and then especially at $135 after my discount code. Now, the eye box and eye relief are very generous on this, especially at the 1 power setting where you would really need one. Like if you're utilizing it for hunting applications in a deer stand or in a blind, and you're transitioning from target to target for different competition use or personal defense use, your head may shift left, right, up, or down. And at the 1 power setting, this thing has a massive eye box and eye relief, meaning how far left, right, up, or down, or close you can be. So they've done a really good job at just kind of perfecting this lineup of optics. This is not Monstrum Tactical's first rodeo with an LPVO. They're continuously making improvements, and I love to see this Spectre lineup really take hold. Now I'm using the same MOA X1 reticle system, and I would really love to see Monstrum Tactical expand their reticle lineup. I feel like that's where they have a lot of chances to gather people in, but that MOA X1 I've really gotten used to when it lays out the kind of hash marks. You've got a 40 MOA square, gives you a lot of details with different MOA marks and leader lines going in, so it's a very usable reticle, and it's really easy to understand, so that's pretty cool. If you want to look at the reticle in detail, you can head to the description below and, again, find some more information there. In summary, it works. It holds up well, and it's been functioning great down at the range. And getting a 1 to 10 at this price is unheard of. It will sell out fast. This deal won't last long, so if you're interested in this, I can't tell you if the optic's right for you or not, but I can tell you this is the cheapest it's ever going to be, and I'm a big fan of this optic if you do want a 1 to 10. If the 1 to 10 isn't for you, they've got a ton of other ones, and I've got a lot of other reviews on the channel that you subscribe and take a look at. I'm always trying out new things. And again, these guys just updated their closeout section with a few different options that I'll link in the description below. Also, if the 1 to 10 is not for you and you want the 1 to 8, I also have the same discount code for that one, so check that in the description below as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.